Good morning, everybody. How is it going? Today we're playing Shadow Shaman. We're going into the mid lane. If any of you watched my stream yesterday, you know that I tried to do this on stream, but it didn't really work out that well, but then it kind of did anyway. In case you're confused by that, essentially, I didn't do well in the early game, but then we somehow miraculously won anyway. No idea how that happened. But I wanted to try out Shadow Shaman mid, because Shadow Shaman, with a null talisman, hits for 83 damage at level 1. Yeah, you heard that right. 83 fucking damage. On top of that, Shadow Shaman actually got some really good talents at high level. Level 20, you gain plus 3 seconds shackle duration or plus 4 wards summoned. Those are both really good. And level 25, you get 350 Ether Shock damage and plus 1 Serpent Wards attacks HP. Which I think the Ether Shock damage there is much better than the other one. However, I also think that the plus 1 Serpent Wards attacks HP is pretty good. So that should tell you how good the other thing is, right? Shadow Shaman now scales because he has talents that allow him to be powerful later on. On top of that, Shadow Shaman always scaled kind of decently, you know, you just get Aghanim's Refresher, some mana usually slapped in there, and you fuck people up with the ultimate, right? So yeah, Shadow Shaman at level 1 also has a very powerful nuke, 140 on that Ether Shock, and I saw, oh hey, there's Invoker on the other side, let's fuck him up. So I woke up this one, you can see how much fucking damage I do, right? One hit does so much fucking damage, and I'm like, okay, Sunstrike is coming, well, I'm gonna win this fight. He can't win this fight, and I kill him. 40 seconds into the game, I get first blood on the enemy Invoker with Shadow Shaman mid, and I gotta admit, I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm pretty happy about that, right? But that just goes to show you how much damage this build actually does. Well, not really, it's not so much a build, but how much damage Shadow Shaman does. Like, that's the thing. I don't even have enough money for a build yet, right? It's level 1, and this is how much fucking damage this guy does. So, you can really hurt people, and that was the plan. Early on, you use your immense right-click damage to just create pressure in the lane, and then later on, you go ahead and use your talents and your ultimate, you apply pressure, you push down lanes, you catch people off guard. You know, like, Shadow Shaman is never going to be like a right-click carry. But that's... why would you need to be that? You don't need to be a right-click carry to be a core, right? You can just as well just go in there and shackle things forever, and that's exactly my plan. So yeah, we'll see how that works out for today. This is still a replay commentary. I'm still sick. I still have bronchitis. I cannot do live commentary right now. I'm very sorry. I know people want live commentary again, but from what I can tell, you guys are actually pretty okay with the replay commentary stuff as well, so that's fantastic. I'm very happy about that. I'm glad you guys don't mind that too much. Well, actually, the feedback I've been getting is pretty good. Like, people are like, no, this is nice, like, to keep doing this. So I'm gonna keep doing this, because right now I really do not have too much of a choice. But yeah, so we're playing against this Invoker. This Invoker is clearly super fucking scared now, because first of all, he's Invoker, so he is an Invoker player, so that means he's a fucking pussy, right? Secondly, he got beaten up really bad early on, and you gotta keep that kind of stuff in mind, right? People usually play a lot more careful if something like that level 1 first blood happens to them. And then they're like, okay, shit, I'm gonna stay away. And you can use that, like, be aggressive, be in their face, go in there, beat them up a little bit more, right? So we got the invisible, what's his face, Putch coming in. He catches the Invoker really nicely. I go ahead and throw down a shackle really quick, and we take him down. So second death on that guy, which is always fantastic. As much as I like making fun of the hero, or well, not so much the hero, but the players, Invoker's still a scary hero, right? He's very powerful. And as such, it's always a good feeling to see him be shut down. Like, if you can shut that hero down early on, you're in a really good situation. Putch sticks around a little while longer. I'm not actually too happy about that. You know, like, I'm always a big proponent of, like, you go get your gank done and then you get the hell out of here. I don't need you in lane because I'm trying to get my solo experience here, right? Like, I need that. So, yeah, activate my haste rune, just get some attacks in. That's really the most I'm gonna get here. At this point, I am fairly certain this guy's not going to let me get a solo kill. Right? Like, I'm just not going to be able to kill him on my own anymore. Because you can see how far in the back he is. Right? And I guess currently the Putch is here as well. So it's not really a solo kill by any means. But nonetheless, you can really see just like, this guy is not going to give me anything. Like, I just didn't believe in that anymore. And then this happens. And I'm like, God, why did you go nobody? Okay, fuck. So I go ahead and head in, try to save him. You can see the Invoker is immediately like, fuck that! It's the Shadow Shaman, I'm not fighting that. Then I shackle up the Lena. And really the point there was to give the Pudge an opportunity to kill her. But he didn't go for it. So I decide to just run away. Because with the Invoker coming in again, I don't want any piece of that. This was some really nice body blocking by the Shadow Demon. I was very happy about that. Kept me out of harm's range. Harm's way. There we go, not range. That's not how you say that, right? Like, kept me out of harm's way. So I'm just like, okay, you know what? We're good. We're good. I think we're good. Alright, go back into the mid lane. At this point, I want to play pretty defensively for the next 30 seconds or so. Well, mostly just this one creep wave. You know, well, actually the next creep wave that arrives. I want to just stay in the back, use my Q to nuke down the creeps. Make sure I don't accidentally die and then go to the shrine and heal up there. I don't see a need to go back, seeing as the shrine is around and it is now active. And it just seemed like a bit of a waste to, you know, go back if I have this potential healing around. But at the same time, this is risky, right? So I'm like, okay, you know what, this is going to be fine. I'm just going to go ahead and heal up over here, and it ended up working out just okay. Working on my Blink Dagger. I want Blink Dagger right away. Blink Dagger is super good on Shadow Shaman. You just blink in, catch a guy. Early on, you really don't need any more than that, because Shadow Shaman has enough disable to kill anybody without them getting any chance to respond. As long as you have teammates around. You don't really do enough damage on your own, as long as you don't have your ultimate at least. Right, once you have your ultimate, you easily do enough damage on your own. But yeah, we got a Pudge coming in for another kill. The problem with that is you need to toss down the ultimate. You don't always want to do that, right? You actually see in an encounter just coming up, like, where I'm like really holding back on that ultimate. I don't want to use it, and then when I eventually end up using it, I am not happy with how that ended up playing out. Right, and it's just a situation where it's just like, this ability is really valuable. It has a long cooldown. When I use it, I want to make sure I'm using it right. And I'm like, okay, well, there's an Invoker coming in, so I shackle him up. Pudge goes in on him as well, and, well, it seems like we can't just kill him, but then the Lina shows up, and I'm just, oh my god. Ultimate, 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 okay. Well, I tossed down the ultimate, but at that point, Invoker is already dead. The Pudge ends up dying anyway, right? The Lina just ends up farming some of those. So, that was just a bad situation, and honestly, that came from indecisiveness from me. What I should have done is, I should have just either decided to, okay, I'm not going to use my ultimate, or I'm going to use my ultimate. Right? You go for either one of those. You either use your ultimate, or you don't. You don't say, hey, I may or possibly, shit, the fight is halfway over, let me go and use it now. Terrible. Worst possible situation. Right? Make a decision, and if it's the wrong one, so be it. At least you made a decision. I didn't make a decision right there, and as a result, shit just didn't end up working. So, you know, that's kind of the problem, I suppose. I suppose that's kind of the problem. Anyway, you guys may be able to tell I'm feeling a lot better these days. I am still sick. You guys may think, because, you know, I'm recording so with so much energy again, that I am, you know, healthy again. I am not. If you watched my stream yesterday, you would notice. It's just that I am now commentating after taking about a 5-hour rest since I last really talked. And as such, I do have enough energy to really do this. Although I'm hoping, I'm not sure if I can go through the whole video without one of my fits, but we'll see, right? Anyway. So, right now I'm just nuking down the creep wave. The cool thing about the Q is, you know, 2 nukes and the creep wave is done. Of course, it uses a lot of mana, but Shadow Shaman deals a lot of right-click damage as well, so you can't just nuke it once. Kills the range creep, which is handy, and then you just click down the last few creeps and easy peasy you move on. So right here I want to kill the tower. I know the Invoker is in the back, and I'm like, he's gonna go for the deny. Well, let's just hope he doesn't get it. That's all I can do, and he gets it. That was actually really well done. Like, that was nice deny timing, outplayed me right there. It's a little bit annoying, of course, but what can you do, right? Like, sometimes that's just how it ends up working out, and there's not much you can do. So I find an illusion at the bottom, and I'm not super keen on it, but I guess I'll take it, right? Whatever. And then there's a fight. Okay. Bristleback. Bristleback is, of course, scary, especially with the Sunstrike taking down the Pudge here. And Bristleback is still running around, but I just beat him up really quick. I mean, the cool thing about the Q is that it does actually do a lot of damage, like, especially early on. Level 1 does 140 damage, which is insane. Like, some level 2 abilities do that much damage, right? At level 2 it does 200, which is also super good. And it goes up to 320. Even 320 is still a little bit more than you would really usually see, I suppose, right? It's a bit more, not crazy amount, but a little bit. It's a very powerful ability. And so I'm using it. Right, but right here, I'm just like, okay, you know what, I'll grind up these creeps, I've got my blink dagger afterwards, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go and gank the top lane, that kind of thing. You know what I did? Well, it's not really so much a thing I did, but, like, I ordered myself these little Pathfinder cards, essentially. Like, they were, like, artifact cards is what they were called. I found them on Amazon, they were like $11, and I'm like, damn, I really want to try it. Because what I was hoping they would be and by the way, this is a really, let's actually do this first, this is really interesting. Oh, really funny, actually. So I'm just running behind this guy because I'm just like, I don't want to shackle him, he's going to use his Q. And I'm just waiting for his Q. And this guy is just like, shit, doesn't use his Q, and then eventually I see him use his Q, and I'm like, well, now you're almost dead. I don't need to use my shackles anymore. Right? It's not even necessary. Found that was, I personally thought that was a really funny encounter. It's just like, he didn't, like, we were playing on the same level where it's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna use it, and then he's like, well, I'm not gonna use it, and he would actually have won that if he hadn't, like, completely messed up his escape route, but it's still kind of funny. However, because of this encounter, in my head, I'm like, okay, you know what, like, this guy is very, very aware of, you know, like, I don't know, like, he seems to be not so much aware, I guess that's a wrong word to use, but he's just not very willing to just throw out his Q. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Next time I see him, I'm just gonna fucking jump him. Right? Like, I'm just gonna go for it. Like, if a situation similar to that appears again, I'm just gonna go for it. Like, I'm just not gonna hold back. I'm just gonna toss out the shackles. I'm just gonna, like, lock them in place, and we'll see how that goes down. Right. Anyway, I ordered these, like, cards, and I was hoping there was, like, a little deck of cards, and then, like, there is, like, a full-on equipment piece on there, like, with stats and everything. But that ended up working out. It was really disappointing. Like, they ended up being just these cards with, like, a picture on it, and then on the back there was, like, a little bit of flavor text, and then, like, an empty space where you are supposed to write in your own notes. And I get that some people would like that, but for me that was really disappointing, because I was really hoping that it's just, like, full-on equipment. Right? And I was just like, ah, damn it. That's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. So, I don't know. There's not really a point to the story other than me expressing my disappointment with that, because I was really looking forward to getting those cards, right? I was excited for those, because I'm like, oh my god, this sounds amazing. And then it just ended up being a giant pile of shit. And it's just kind of sad. Right, anyway. So, I shackle up the bristleback. I try to dodge the tornado, but then the tornado just ends early. I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. Then I get hooked out of there. I was still willing to go back in, but then I'm like, ah, fuck it. Actually, it's probably not a good idea, so I retreat out. In the end, it's a 1-for-1. It's not great, but it's also not terrible, right? Like, it ended up working out alright. Go ahead and just continue grinding up. I don't actually have that many levels. Only level 10. Level 10 is still pretty high. I wonder if it's the highest in the game. Yeah, it is actually the highest in the game, right? So I'm doing pretty well. It's just like, I've been roaming around a lot. I haven't spent a crazy amount of time just farming. So my levels aren't doing super well. But you gotta keep in mind, I'm spending a lot of time shutting down my enemy. That's my main goal here mostly, right? I just want to shut them down. Give my allies as much time as possible to farm up as I can. And I think I'm doing a pretty decent job there. I mean, I got 7 of our 9 kills and 1 assist, right? So, it's pretty alright. It's going fine. Now, another thing I really quickly want to tell you guys is I'll be streaming again. I'm not sure how long I can stream each day. I'm going to try to make it as long as I possibly can. I'm also not sure if I can stream every day, but you guys know that I have not really been streaming at all for the past almost 3 weeks. I'm slowly going to be... this is, by the way, what I'm talking about. Where I'm just like, okay, he jumps away, and I just like instantly shackle him as quickly as I can. And ends up working out. Like, we were playing the same mind game from earlier, except this time I was one Yomi step ahead and end up catching him. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Yomi in non-fighting game communities. Like, I don't know if that tells you guys anything. Okay, I guess I could explain it pretty quick. So, fuck it, let's get sidetracked, right? So, it's this book, Playing to Win, or Play to Win, by some guy, Sterling, I believe. I don't know. I'm not sure what his name actually is. Just look up Play to Win, you'll find it. Play to Win fighting game book. Catch him. Sorry. I believe I've talked about Baumi recently, but I don't know. It's probably been a few weeks at least, so we can't bring it up again. I'm gonna keep it short. Essentially, Baumi, or mind games, or whatever you want to call it, is the idea, like, how far do you think your opponent is thinking ahead? And how far are you thinking ahead? Especially, while considering each other, right? So, let's say we're playing rock, paper, scissors, right? Just something as simple as that. I'm thinking I'm gonna play rock. You are thinking, well, well, actually, like, it's the first round, right? I play rock, you play scissors, and I win. Right, so second round, now you think, well, he's gonna play rock again, he won that way, so I'm gonna play paper now. But I am thinking, well, I played rock last time, he's gonna play paper now, because he thinks I'm gonna play rock again, so I'm gonna play scissors. Which means that I'm one Baumi step ahead, right? But if he now thinks, well, he is gonna play, he would think that I would think that he would play rock, so I would play paper, and he would consequently play scissors, so I'm gonna play rock. Now you're one Baumi step ahead. You get how that goes? Right? So, like, that's kind of what I mean with, like, the slog. Where it's just like, you know, like, at first we were on the same Baumi level, where it's just like, okay, we're both waiting. And then afterwards, I was just like, oh, actually, he may even have been ahead. But then after seeing that, I was like one step ahead, because I'm just like, well, shit, I'm just gonna go for it instantly. I'm not gonna wait for anything, and I catch him. That's the idea, right? So yeah. Anyway, throw down the ultimate. You may have noticed I am using this ultimate to push all the time. I'm playing Shadow Shaman kind of like I play Death Prophet. I'm roaming around the map as much as I can. I use my Q to farm, and I use my ultimate to kill towers, right? Or force team fights. This ultimate is very, very powerful. It is super strong. The only time this ultimate is not good is when it's not being used. Right, so you always want to try to have it on cooldown. You always want to take an objective, want to force a team fight, want to go for a Shaman. Like, any one of those things is fine, as long as you're doing them. But you should be doing one of them every time this ultimate is off cooldown. Which is why, every time the ultimate is off cooldown, I am forcing something, right? I am pushing a tower there, I'm pushing a tower on the top, right? I haven't really used it much for team fights, but now that I've got my Aghanim's, that's going to be happening too. So, I actually really like Aghanim's on Shadow Shaman. It's something that used to be really, really powerful, but now that they changed it, at first I was really skeptical, but I actually really like it. So, once you get Aghanim's on Shadow Shaman, the Shadow Shaman Voids have a longer attack range, and also they have a split shot, so they attack 2 targets at once, which is awesome for pushing barracks, killing 2 barracks at once. And I'm pretty sure that's actually the point. So, get myself the Aghanim's. We got 30 seconds or so on our ultimate, but we are ready to push down the mid. The game is actually looking pretty even, funnily enough, if we go into our net worth graphs, right? Like, we are not even 3,000 ahead. And honestly, all of that money is on me, right? So it's not like we are doing incredibly well here, but it's just like there's a certain fighting power we have at the moment that is hugely advantageous for us. We've got an interesting little encounter coming up. So, I have my ultimate ready, and funnily enough, like, old ultimate did splash damage, right? This new ultimate does, like, double split shot, and both are kind of, like, better for one situation than another. Right here, you can see, oh, we're getting jumped. Okay, I run away, I try to get out of that stuff immediately, put down my ultimate, and we burst him down. So fucking quick. My ultimate is doing massive, massive damage. The Lina ends up dropping to it. I'm trying to push down the tower. I'm trying to also get some hits in on the Slug over here. Slug ends up dying to the Putch. And in the end, the entire team wipes. We lose 3 heroes. And this is what I meant with, funnily enough, our old ultimate, the one with Splash, would actually have been better right there, because they were all grouped up, and then they would have all got the Splash, right? Hitting 3 heroes as opposed to 2. But, yeah, actually, God, I really can't stress it enough. I think this new Aghanim's is actually super good. I really, really like it. But it's unfortunate we died right there. Well, it happens, right? So anyway, we are now 20 minutes into the video. If you enjoyed it so far, please don't forget to leave a rating on the video. We'll definitely appreciate that. I hope the audio is better. I've been having some complaints that the audio is too quiet. I have now tuned it up a little bit. Let me know if it's still too quiet. It shouldn't be. I also think that, like, I think there were two reasons why my audio was so quiet. The first one being, I wasn't speaking very loudly because I couldn't. The second one being, I have a switch on my mixer that was put a little bit lower than it should be. And I'm not sure why. Probably a cat messed with it, if I had to guess. I do have a cat that likes to crawl around back there. And as such, I assume that's the reason. Now, in terms of items, I have my Blink Dagger, I have my Agony. So I run into the slot, which is really unfortunate. So I just hex him up after he uses his ultimate. Not his ultimate, but his, what's it called? His Dark Pact, and I'm like, oh, whatever. I mean, as long as nobody else is there, I'm actually completely safe here. He can't kill me. I just put my Q on him. Not my Q, my W on him, and then just shackle him. Right? Like, that's just it. It's just like easy peasy. And I escape. Sunstrike, of course, does a little bit of damage. It's a bit scary. But in the end, I didn't really get that close to dying there. Right? As long as they don't have backup, there's actually no way I die. Just because the Slug used his Dark Pact that early. Which is actually funny. That's the next Yomi level. Because now the Slug is like, okay, Shadow Shaman instantly hexes me every time. Or like goes for the shackles. So I'm just gonna instantly use my Q and not wait anymore. Didn't work out this time, motherfucker. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Yeah, if you think about that. I'm not sure if that much thinking went into his side. But it definitely went into my side. Right? I was definitely thinking like this. I'm sorry for those breaks. I still have issues with my lungs, right? So, yeah, anyway. I catch the Invoker right here. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I shoot the Ogre Magi as he runs into the wards. And we get both kills. Fairly easy. And I think that's fine, right? Like, I wasn't too sure about using my ultimate just to kill the Invoker. Because we're actually in a position where we can seriously look at pushing their barracks. And I feel like pushing their barracks is more important than just getting a kill on the Invoker. But when Ogre Magi also turned up, I immediately was like, oh yeah, okay, shit, worked out fine. Because getting 2 kills, that's good enough, right? Like, because barracks are really like a far-off dream to some extent. Or not necessarily a far-off dream, but they're just like, they're not gonna be that easy. The game is still fairly even. Right, like, look at this. It's really not... There's not that much of a gap here. Like, I'm trying my best, but... It is hard to farm for my team. Alright, so I put down my Q. Get a little bit of damage done. We lose the Pudge, which is unfortunate. Now, I wanted to talk about items. So, Ether-Lance. Ether-Lance is awesome on this hero. Shadow Shaman has terrible cast ranges. They're garbage. They're absolute garbage. Right, like, it's really one of the big things holding this hero back. His his abilities are very powerful, but they just don't have any cast range. Right, they're super strong. It's just difficult to properly use them. And that makes perfect sense from a design and balance perspective. Right, I love that. I think that's great design. But we need to fix that. It's a problem we need to address with the hero. Right, and that's what the Ether-Lance is for. You can see that with the Ether-Lance, our abilities don't even have that great of a cast range. It's still pretty shit. Right, this is with Ether-Lance. But it is actually really significant and helps out a ton. Now, at level 15, I'm getting 35% experience gain. And this is another reason why I think core Shadow Shaman can definitely work. Because if you look at all of these other heroes where we're just like, oh, Lich Carry, yay! Level 25, you get a free Skadi. Just like you never get to level 25. With 35% experience gain bonus, you do get to level 25. It is actually possible in a non-unreasonable game. Right? Like, it is possible to get to level 25, even when you're not 1500 MMR. And as such, it's just like, okay, you know what? That's actually pretty good for us. I grabbed myself some TP boots. At this point, I have mostly realized that, okay, I need to carry this. Right? If we look at the Phantom Lancer really quick, I don't mean to talk shit, but he doesn't have anything. He's currently shipping in his Aghanims, which essentially means that I am quite a bit ahead of him, right? And if you look at the net worth difference here, yeah, I need to carry this. If I don't carry this, we're not winning this. And again, at this point, I pretty much realized that. So I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to get TP boots. That's going to allow me to put pressure on the entire map, allows me to farm more aggressively. Genuinely, it just, like, generally speaking, just a really strong item. So let's go and grab those, right? And then I run over here. This is a problem, actually. This was a difficult situation for me because I actually got a cough right here while this was going on. So I'm stunned. I try to run away. I'm trying to cast, but it's actually really difficult when you're dying in the meantime. I certainly could have blinked out right there, but honestly, I was happy I just managed to get off my E at all. Pada is going in now. We've got the Phantom Lancer running in as well, but he has barely any HP left. Gets multicasted right away. Slark now starts working on him, and down he goes. We lose 4 heroes for really nothing. That was a bad fight for us, and that immediately makes the game quite even again, right? Like, it was already pretty even beforehand, but now it's a super tight race. It is definitely a super tight race. Yeah. It's all about some stuff. But you know what's fun with Shadow Shaman? It's something you'll see later on. Oh, well, actually, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything. That's not entirely accurate. This is actually a problem I have, you know, like, since I already played this game, I'm, like, always, like, so keen to say, like, this and this will happen, but, I mean, you guys don't want to know that, right? I blink in, I axe this guy, I'm like, ultimate, fuck Invoker. That's mostly why I use my ultimate right there. I'm just like, fuck Invoker. Probably not a good decision. But fuck him. But fuck him. So we get an Invoker kill super easy. I probably could have gotten that even on my own. But I like even not on my own. Even without the Shadow Shaman ultimate, right? Because the Shadow Demon was there. So. But oh well. The dream was real. Meantime, we actually catch the Bristleback as well. My team manages to take him down. So we're on a pretty good spot. Sadly, I do not have an ultimate to push with. But as I was saying, something fun you can do with Shadow Shaman is you get an Octarine Core, you get that plus shackle duration talent. You can actually permanently shackle people. Like, seriously, no shit. Like, this lasts 5 seconds, plus 3 seconds is 8 seconds. And with Octarine Core, this goes down to 7.5 seconds cooldown. That's just a perma shackle. It's not even like almost a perma shackle, or it's one of those scenarios where you need to like get frame perfect timing to like get the perma shackle. No, it's just like you just have a perma shackle. You have a half second to catch people with it. It's easy peasy, man. It's not even hard. Alright, so we run in here. I'm pinging out my ultimate. It's still on cooldown, I believe. Activate the double damage. Throw up a few attacks, but I missed that one, and I missed another one, and I'm like, god damn it, those really would have helped. But we don't actually end up killing the tower yet. Now, I really want to kill this tower to get the shrines. Like, that is like part of the reason why I want to go for this, but then this little encounter happens. We see them walk running around, and there's a Slark as well. I'm just like, okay, shit, let's hex him. I managed to get the instant hex, which I'm really happy about, and then we get hunted down by the entire team as a result. I put down the shackles, put down the ultimate. I'm dropping pretty damn low. I throw down my E, and we're starting to deal some serious damage. The wards are just hurting them so much. Lina goes down, Slark goes down, Bristleback goes down, and Mocha and Ogre Magi are still alive, but that's not really too valuable. My wards are standing pretty strong. I go ahead and grab myself the soul booster. Sadly, the wards are not in tower range, so we can't really push with them. But nonetheless, that was still a pretty good fight, and I'll take it. Like, that's definitely something where I'm happy that I used the wards for. We're also level 20 now, so we got our E fully maxed out, right? Like, we have that 8-second duration, which is just insane, man. You can do a really, like, how long of a save can you actually do? You can do 8 seconds here, right? And you chain into this, 3.5 seconds, so reasonably speaking, it's more like 3 seconds, right? Number 8. So you can do, how much is that? 19 seconds stun? Just casually with Shadow Shaman at this point? Yeah. I mean, assuming you get the full duration, but if somebody's on their own, they're gonna eat the full duration. Like, that's all I gotta say. And it's not like it doesn't even do damage. Like the shackles do actually do quite a bit of damage, right? It's 80 damage a second. Wait, no, that's not right. How much damage a second is it actually? Okay, so it's 360 total damage. Right, like, does the damage increase over the 8 seconds duration? Does it actually, like, wait, does it deal less damage now? I don't know. Anyway, I'm coming in right here. I'm like, oh shit, I want to help. I mostly want to save that Phantom Lancer, but he just gets burst down immediately. I throw down the shackles. I'm trying to run away, but no! The Centaur! He blocked me in. He blocked me in. There was a good chance of me getting away. I'm pretty fast. I have 410 movement speed. It is absolutely not unreasonable to assume I get away there, but I got blocked in and I didn't stand a chance after that. So I end up dropping again. Yeah, another death. It's always unfortunate. You know, there's always the worst scenarios where it's just like you die twice in a row and you're like, fuck. At this point I'm telling Pada, don't go in on your own. Oh my fucking god, you already went in on your own. He ends up dealing a little bit of damage before dying, but of course that's not necessarily the most valuable thing in the world. Luckily, it does buy us a little bit of time, and the Phantom Lancer and the Centaur will be back in time before they push the barracks. Actually, before they push the barracks, I'll be back in time as well. Oh, they just don't have that much pushing potential right now. Right? So we're still looking pretty reasonable here. All good. Although game is looking grim. I mean, they are actually ahead now. Technically. Not really significantly. Right? It's one of those scenarios where it's just like, you're a little bit ahead. But not really that much. Like, I'll take that. Strictly speaking, you are ahead. I'll admit it. But it's not really that relevant. Right? But, yeah, anyway. Slug going in down here. I'm a little bit scared of this, but I also see a courier. And if there's one thing to make me not scared, it is a courier. So I catch the courier, then I see, okay, well, I don't know, I guess I'll just go for it. I end up shackling this guy up. It lasts for literally days and we get the kill. I don't know. It was not necessarily the safest call because we have no vision on anything, right? There could be the entire fucking team waiting behind that bristleback, and at that point, we used our spells on the bristleback. Like, worst case scenario for us, right? But that's why I was so reluctant, and I also stayed away, so far away. There is a slug coming in, I see that Invoker, and I just stay away. And then the slugs just start forming there. I'm like, wait, we got a ward up here. Alright, so I just start shackling them up. In the meantime, there's a fight to the right somewhere. I don't really care that much. I'm not really too concerned with that. So I throw down my shackles, throw down my hex, throw down my ultimate, and just shackle them up again. I mean, I got all fucking day, man. What can I say? Right, I got all day. Let's go ahead and just do this twice or 3 times. And then there's an ogre and just go ahead and stun him up as well so he doesn't TP home. We don't want that, right? We don't want them going home. No, 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 no. This is where you belong, my friend. In my arms. That's why I want to see you. But yeah, we end up getting the slug right there, which is pretty good. Problem is, yet again, I use my ultimate for it. Without my ultimate, we just don't have the pushing power we need. So there's the bristleback. Bristleback is always a worry, right? So I start shackling him up. I'm a little concerned by this, though. It's just worrisome. Still end up getting the kill. Right? Invoker doesn't seem like he was there. And that was really the one big problem. Bristleback buys back. And we are looking a little bit low on resources, honestly. Right? Like, Patch is kind of low. I don't have that much mana left. Maybe there's the Shadow Shaman. So it's not looking super hot. But there's also a bunch of them dead. So I'm kind of confident I just jump in and start shackling up the bristleback. I get EMP Tornado though, and I am taking a lot of damage here. So I try to maybe kill the Invoker. I did manage to toss out the Hex before I lost all of my mana. But not sure if that was even a great idea. I start shackling up the bristleback. Turns out bristleback has a Radiance, by the way. I get trapped by the Shadow Shaman. I try to run away. Bristleback is slowed up. I'm still on the run, but suddenly an invisible slug appears and just dices and slices me. Now my team is trying to maybe try and fight this out. Invoker is dropping pretty low. I'm chasing Lampada. At this point, I'm just like trying to let him know about his TP. Typing it into the chat. Dude, you have a TP. You could be safe. In the meantime, actually, our Phantom Lancer are starting to become relevant here. He manages to get 2 kills. Kills the Invoker, kills the Bristleback, I believe. Or was the Bristleback already there? No, Bristleback already died earlier. So he manages to kill the Invoker at least, but now running into the slug. And this is just like one of the problems we had this game, right? It's just like overstepping your boundaries. This was definitely one of those scenarios where like you killed the invoker, you're in a position where you can go back. You need to go back, right? Like, yes, if you can push your advantage, you should. But that doesn't mean that you have to do it, right? Like, it doesn't mean that every time you win a fight, you need to immediately win the game. That means you need to like make a judgment call on whether or not you can actually do something right now. And right there, like, the Phantom Master should have just gone back. Like, that's all I gotta say, right? There's no other way to put it. Sometimes you just gotta pack it up and go home. Oh well. We're level 22, which is actually pretty nice. You can see the 35% really helps level up. God, we're doing pretty damn well in that regard. Teleport on top of that creep. I'm looking forward to my 350 damage nuke. Oh well, 350 additional damage nuke. It's actually 320 damage nuke to begin with. Goes up to 670. Ah, that's super nasty. And an ability with such a short cooldown. Alright, 8 seconds on that, 670 damage. That's crazy. Of Octarine Core is going to be 6 seconds. That's kind of insane if you think about it, right? And it can splash to other people. Oh yeah, let's go. Let's fucking go. Go ahead and just clean that up. At this point, I've just had enough of not having an Octarine Core. I'm just like, I'm done with this. It's time to have an Octarine Core. So I go ahead, go down here. Clean out this creep wave. Miss like half the last hits because I'm goddamn terrible. And there's a fight in the mid. I'm like, god damn it, okay, I'm coming. Lina goes down, Slug is on the retreat. I'm kind of thinking about going in on this. I do get the shackles, but sadly the Slug does end up getting trapped by the Shadow Demon as well. It's like a little bit of lack of coordination there. And yeah, so he manages to survive for the time being. But now he's trying to chase me down. The Dark Pact is coming out. I'm like, oh shit, let's go. And fuck. Yeah, I saw his Q come out, and I was just like, ah, shit, man, I can't go for it anymore, right? Like, you can't shackle him up. Dark Pact kept him safe right there. So I go ahead and hit back and finally get my Octarine Core. I'm feeling really good about this one. Because it reduces the cooldown on the ultimate too. Mid tower, mid barracks, all of that shit is now dead. Here's the Slug. I'm like, oh, free shackles. Dude, I can't do this all day. And by all day, I mean literally all day. It's permanent. It's a permanent stun. If I ever catch anybody on their own, there's no way they can survive, because I can just stun them permanently. Throw down my ultimate. Start pushing that bottom tower. Barracks in a second. Right, and this is actually like, look, this is what I mean with like, oh, you want to push 2 barracks all at once? Oh, that's a service we provide now. This is kind of it, no? You can push so nicely with that. I'm level 24. Super close to level 25. Would actually really like to have it. And then there's like this free invoker that presents itself. And I'm just like, oh, nice, free invoker. It's like my favorite kind of invoker. Right next to no invoker. So, we killed invoker. And I'm so close. I want to just level up right there. Just grind up that last little bit. Come on, man. We can do it. Hey, we can do it. Oh, and there's the... See that fucking nuke, man? That is so disgusting. I just start shackling him. I got all day. Right, I got all fucking day. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. And by the way, this is the one argument you can say against the shackles. Like, you can see I don't actually often get to use the full duration. Right, like, well, 8 seconds shackles is insane. It's also kind of unnecessary. Right, you just don't need that much. The 5 seconds are perfectly fine. And then you do much more damage with your ultimate. Like, 4 extra wards is like 40% more damage on that. Man, that's pretty fucking good. That was really nice, actually, so... Just saying. There's Ogre Magi. And at that point, they... gave up. They did give up. The poor little fools. They did not stand much of a chance. After all of that. And, this is the tale how Shadow Shaman actually managed to pull through and carry again. And here's where I want to kill the Mocha for one last time. I'm like, oh shit, no, never mind. But he ends up going down anyway. It's just nice to see. Just fuck that guy. I'll go ahead and kill the Ancient and boom! The tale of how I carried with Shadow Shaman. Well, you know. Pretty sure I've done that before. But yeah, we ended up winning. Pretty close game, honestly. Like, you look at the graphs here, right, like, you can see this was really close up until that last fight, and then we just, like, instantly won. Yeah, we just always had the pressure on them. Like, this is my GPM score, or my net worth, I suppose, right? Like, it's just a Shadow Shaman coming through, man. And, yo. So let me go ahead and do the giveaway. You know, we haven't been doing that. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and do it now. Alright. If you want to participate, you just have to leave a YouTube comment. That's all. It's that simple. So, today's winner would be Couch Potato CNPB. You win, and you win. What about this? It's, Kling said, looks like some pharaoh or skeleton shit. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a rating on the video. We'll definitely appreciate that. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.